Friendship supreme. Friendship supreme. Finding the geek within.
Hey everybody, my name is Michael,
My name's Cleve.
and welcome to an exciting episode of Friendship.
Supreme.
Ooh, we're the podcast that dares to ask, what happens when you chain a god in a basement and feed it garbage?
Gets real savage.
It gets real savage. Today we're gonna review a comic book by Boom Studios called Zawa and the Belly of the Beast. It is by Michael Dialson.
All right.
Dialinus. That's a word I tried to pronounce.
Diolinus.
Dialinus, thank you.
That's what I'm gonna go with.
That sounds way better than whatever I said. But it is a 5-part-ish series that came out in early December of 2023, I believe, and is going to wrap up within the next month or so.
It's always nice. It's always nice for a story to wrap up, you know?
Yeah, that's lately I've gotten real kind of every day I go in, every week when I go into the comic book store, they always ask me like, oh, what's new that you're reading, or is there anything exciting? And I always vent about how tired I am of superheroes. I'm kind of burnt out on those because they're just long drawn out series that get convoluted. Spider-Man's a great example of having 16 different universes going on at the same time, and to the point where they have a comic book that just talks about all the different universes going on.
Yeah. I always use the example of when I was reading my one X-Men comic, and then it split into a Cyclops team and a Wolverine team, and I was like, okay, that's fine. And then Wolverine had 3 issues off of his story, and Cyclops had 2 off of his. I'm like, okay, so I'm buying 5 different storylines just to keep up with the one story that I started reading originally. This is becoming a lot. And I understand that's the point because that's how they're making their money. And that industry, it's not dying, but
It's an interesting industry, right? It's weird.
paper, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think X-Men Blue and Red is still going, by the way. Sometimes. Like the
Eventually just
concept.
have to go, okay, this is good enough for me.
Well, and then sometimes, like, in one timeline, a character dies, but then they're getting a whole nother series on their own.
Mhm.
Magneto just died recently, and he's been resurrected.
You can't let Magneto die.
No. He's like, the entire Jewish representation in...
Him and Kitty Pryde are the only ones that I can definitively say are of Jewish descent. Solid enough?
I remember when they retconned in him being a survivor, and it being, like, a big issue for people. Anyway, that's not what this is about.
Of course.
People always want to complain about everything, right? Like,
Right.
How dare you? The new, X-Men 97 is coming out soon, and everyone's like, how dare you woke it? And you're like, guys, the X-Men, dog. Like, this is the representation of everything that the non-woke people hate. These are the fucking, the outcasts. Anyways, guys.
Not to mention they were doing book shit in comics way before any of this stuff, but yeah, everybody.
Accurate. But we're going to talk about Zawa. It is a story about a dystopian future in which one person controls all the resources for everybody. They live in a almost kind of like an island, and their
They call it the mountain, right?
Yeah, and their culture has always believed that the mountain will provide for them. The mountain always gives what they need to survive, and through the goddess that is Zawa. And so every year they have a feast to celebrate Zawa, and the mayor is in control of everything and kind of says he is the voice of the mountain and is the person that will tell everybody what the mountain has to say for itself. That's real allegory for, like Catholicism and just religion in general. Like, no, God's talking to me. He's going to tell me what you guys should do.
Don't you worry. I will tell you exactly what he says word for
Yeah,
word.
basically.
Don't ever question me, because I'm talking to him.
Right. And it's always that, right? It's later on in the series. It's very much like a don't you question me. You'll piss the mountain off, and then they'll cut us off completely.
What you want? You want us to die?
They come out with later on. They come out with a Mountain Dew, basically.
Nice.
Mountain. It's like I don't remember what exactly they call it, but it's basically a Mountain Dew drink, and yeah, but it's the will of the mountain. So, anyways, issue number 1, we follow Bandit and Thatcher, who are brother and sister. They have a mother, Mrs. Blackberry, and then their friend Leo, who is a delivery guy for an underground operation that they have currently going on, where Bandit cooks food because the slop that the mayor is giving the citizens does not leave them feeling satisfied or good in health by terms.
Yeah, it's like below the worst school cafeteria food.
Yeah.
Is basically how they make it seem.
Yeah, like cheeseburgers in boxes, but like it's not good for your body, and it's probably dying, killing you.
McDonald's.
McDonald's, yeah, that's fair.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you get it. And so we find out that Thatcher and Bandit's father died. We don't know how, but he did die.
Get a little bit of hint of that first comic of how he might have maybe died.
That's true. They did. What was the hint, Cleve?
You see him at the very beginning feeding the god his pies.
Cookies.
I'm gonna call them pies, huh?
They're little cookies.
Yeah. And I guess it's led to seem like maybe he got too close, but it definitely for sure seems like they might have tipped him off.
Yeah, he is the chef for the entire city. So he works for the mayor, and he died, and we don't know how, but his cookbook is found, or his recipe book is found in the mayor's food emporium area, whatever you would call it.
Like the best of foods.
The pantry. So Bandit and Thatcher have like a underground black market real food delivery service that Leo runs for him. And so every once in a while they sneak into the mayor's pantry. They steal their mom's ID card, and they go into the pantry
one does.
Right? And steal food. And it doesn't go well this time, Cleve. What happened?
The henchmen come in and find Bandit. Thatcher.
Thatcher is the girl. Bandit is the boy, the chef.
I'm trying to remember her name.
Yeah.
Thatcher. It's because my mouth doesn't like her name. Thatcher is able to get away, but Bandit has to make a quick escape down the trash chute. So he thinks. Turns out the beast lives in there.
What do they call it? The Gobblegeist?
Yeah, Gobblegeist. And she does look terrifying, to be fair. Like, if I were to ever see that at any point, I would definitely be super concerned.
Yeah, when the beast is first discovered, she does look like she's lived in a garbage heap for like the last 30, 40 years.
Trash? Yeah, definitely looks like maybe she was fed trash.
She does definitely like she was fed trash the whole time.
But luckily the henchmen come in and they try to subdue the beast, they call it, and Bandit gets away. But it looks like the beast also was released.
There was a giant explosion, which I
And
don't feel like they explained what caused the explosion.
no, just an explosion took place.
Because I read the next issue and I'm like, I don't understand what happened, but then they start talking about an explosion. I went back and looked at the last page of the first issue and I was like, oh yeah, there sure is an explosion that they don't really, because they use tasers to try to like shot or like cattle prods.
Yeah, yeah. Also, when she's released, is it the island that's speaking to her in that
Hmm.
font?
So
Did you find that out later?
yeah, you do.
Okay,
If it's
you don't have to spoil it.
I was peeking in the future, it's essentially there are more than one Zawa. It is
Gotcha,
it's an elder. Like they all speak together. They have like a hive mind. They can all talk to each other. It's the
gotcha.
spirits that talk to
It's
her.
it's interesting that she wasn't able to hear it
Hmm.
in the thingamawobber, the dungeon, we'll call it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Michael got a face like he knows something.
it's it's uh, it's a 5-issue
Oh,
series,
spoil it.
guys. Yeah, no,
Episode one,
I'm not
or
going to.
series
I'm not
one.
going to spoil it for you guys. I think here's what I'm going to say. I saw the cover. It was a Scotty Young exclusive. He was really excited to work on this when it first came out, and I got super pumped. I usually like Scotty Young's covers. I tend to buy them even if I'm not going to read the series. But I bought this one, and I read how excited he was to work with it because he was excited for the project to come out. He has his own series that's I Hate Fairyland, and it kind of reminded me of that, or Fairy Tale. And
It's Wizard of Oz one, right?
it's like yeah, kind of. It's a bunch of different fairy tale things that exist, and there's this one specific character that is very violent and well, a series I never really got into. Wish I would have, but I didn't. But I really like Scotty Young. I saw him do this cover. He talked about how excited he was to be, to be able to contribute to the project. And I looked at some of the art that was coming out for it, and it's one of the first times I was really excited about a new like comic before I had read anything about it. Because I read a lot of issue ones,
Right.
and then it builds up hype or I get excited about it. I've been excited for this series before it came out, and it has not disappointed. I'm caught all the way up. There's one more issue coming out. It is beautifully done. The art is really good. He's done. I know he did Ninja Turtles. He's done something else as well.
Uh,
Go ahead,
my
sorry.
apologies. He has a series called The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, and that is different from
Okay.
the one you're referring to.
Okay. I think it's technically called I Fucking Hate Fairyland, but like
That sounds
they
right.
also have a edited version of it. Or it's
Yeah, you can't
just
put that on the cover.
yeah. I love my comic book store because they're like, here's the edited you can't see the one, and they just show you a blank page in front of it, and then here's the safe one. It is I want to say it's a unique story. It's not. I mean, there are stories that exist like it, right? Very much like man bad, uh, nature good is really what you're going to get into with
The
this.
Lorax.
Yeah, 100%. That is all I thought of when I saw the mayor was like, this is just Sneed, the dude that's like,
Yeah.
the guy that, or no, whatever his name is, the guy that sells the air. That 100%. That's what it is that people have taken advantage of things, but the story is done really well. It doesn't drop as far as dialogue goes. I think that it's engaging enough. It's not overly saturated with wording in the comic books, and the art is genuinely, to me, is stunning. Like I really like this style. I am engulfed by it. It is one that I didn't have to push myself to read these. I was looking forward to going through and looking at just kind of each page and taking it in.
There is an important page at the end that we didn't mention. Is that she comes out and she looks like this ferocious beast, and then she takes a bite of a cookie and she looks like this innocent little girl. And it kind of gave me Moana, uh,
Tafiti
Tafiti.
and
Yeah,
Taka, yeah.
yeah, kind of like a switch in between, or maybe
Uh,
like Stitch, how angry and aggressive, and then like, it's
really
fine.
docile,
Look
yeah,
at the cute little dog. Look.
yeah, 100%. It's yeah, I think you'll grow to like the Zawa character. I think she is an interesting uh Lilu Corbin Dallas multipass kind of character. Like, she's just learning
Yeah.
what the world is because she's been locked in a dungeon her whole life. Um, the characters are good. Again, I like it's not an untold story, but it is well done, and there's enough of a twist to it that it feels good to read still.
Mhm.
Coming from someone that just read issue 1, I'm more curious about your opinion. I'm sure they are too. So
Um, I mean, I would echo that. I didn't dislike anybody, but you meet all of three people.
right.
The mom's in two panels. Um, Leo's in six panels. Um, the dad's in two panels. So it's really the brother and the sister, and I'm interested to see how their dynamic works more.
Mm-hmm.
He seems very soft and like laid back, and he's really passionate about cooking, and she seems really 17-year-old girl, you know, not a lot of emotion besides just attitude. You know what I mean? I
That
don't
does
know
not
how
change.
old they are.
Yeah, I don't think they discuss age ever.
Yeah, they both work at the bakery,
Yeah,
but yeah.
that their mom doesn't really know about, but does.
If I had to assign an age at to them by what I got from the comic, I would say she's 17, he's 15.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. She
Yeah,
can
because it
drive
seemed
if that changes. Like, yeah,
still 17.
yeah.
Well, especially given in this world, who knows? Um, Leo seems cool. I don't have any complaints there.
You don't get a real vibe for him through the whole series. On it.
Cool.
Thatcher and Bandit are really your main, and then Mrs. Blackberry comes into it a little bit as well.
Did you ever get her first name?
Uh, I think the mayor does call her by her first name because she works for the mayor. But
Mm,
I do not remember.
yeah. Uh, I think honestly, from reading it, the curiosity and the appeal to pick up the second one is Zawa, and Zawa speaking
Hmm.
to that mystery of voice, and I guess seeing what she can do. Because how strong can she be if she got locked up, or she could be locked up, right? Most gods are pretty free reign, but I guess there are different stipulations, different rules for different gods. Yeah, no, that would be Zawa as a whole would be the reason that you would definitely pick up the second issue.
And I will say that they don't leave those questions unanswered. So for anybody that would have those same questions, that is something that does get answered and does get explored too, which
And
is always nice, right?
Michael, yeah, Michael giving a little bit of a spoiler of letting you know that there's more than one. It's like, okay, so do they all look like children? Is she the youngest one? It was the questions just kind of keep going from there. Not to use your little bit as a more of an example. Even like when she looks frightened but not hasn't eaten the cookie yet, she looks rough. Definitely ghoulish.
She has been in there for about 100 years
Mm. So
and
she's like
has been
Grogu.
fed the slop that exists. Um, let's say this: a new Zawa doesn't appear unless an old Zawa is murdered or killed.
Mm.
So, but she's been in there for about 100 years and been fed garbage food. That she is definitely a goddess of like the mountain and nature. So this
Yeah.
processed cheeseburgers and stuff is not doing well for her, which is why
Yeah.
the fresh ingredients that are in the cookies are so well appreciated by her.
Received. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like I said, and you know what? It's $3.99 a comic, right? And in the days where DC's charging you $5.99 for a regular comic and $6.99 for a comic they know you want, bastards. Fucking the whole Wonder Woman series has been $6.99, and my daughter's like obsessed with she's like I want to read about it, and I'm like I'm not gonna turn you down, I guess. So yeah,
Yeah.
but it's been the most boring series ever.
Yeah. I'll always, especially if your story's on point, I'll always sort someone outside the big wigs, the two big titans.
I
And
will.
then if your price is right, it's even better.
Right. I will say that Boom Studios has not really missed with a whole lot of what I've read. Keen Spot has been a little rougher. There have been some I'm like, yeah, this is good. And there have been some I'm like, why did I pick this up?
I feel
But
that.
Boom Studios has been really good, and this is definitely would recommend. Again, it's only 5 issues, and it's not really hard to find. It's pretty commonly available in most comic book stores or digitally online for $3.99.
Should we just produce comics? How much does that cost?
Should we produce comics? It costs a lot.
Mm. Mm. How much
Ask
do you have?
Fourth Wall Studios at Ace Blade.
How much do you got?
$60.
Mm.
Think we can make one
Think
list
it-
for $60?
you think it's more than that?
Here's what I'm gonna say to you. Do you think that are you relying on our drawing? Because our writing, I think, would be good.
No. What I was thinking is we're gonna find 5 people who each have one unique superhero,
Uh-huh.
and then we'll publish those lines, and then we'll have somebody write a team up line,
Uh-huh.
like our own little knockoff Avengers.
Okay. I mean, I have a comic book right now called Biden's Titans versus Trump's somethings.
Mm. I don't know. Do we have to pay for likeness?
No,
Oh,
they
that's
didn't.
interesting.
There's no way these people paid, and there's no way that these people approved of them being used. The next issue is
Fair enough.
Has Ted Cruz on the cover getting the shit kicked out of him by AOC.
Oh, well, frame that cover.
I asked Kate, I was like, which cover do you think? I was like, should I get the regular one with all the people lined up or the one specific with Ted Cruz on the front? She's like, the one with everybody lined up. I'm like, nah, I think I'm gonna get both. Like, I need that one. I need that one of Ted Cruz get the shit kicked out. I'm gonna
Yeah.
fucking frame that. Put that right
Oh
up
man,
there.
can we get him to sign it?
He'd have to not know what he was signing.
I want him to know what he's saying. This is how much the world loves you. Is that this comic issue exists?
Man.
We can
Anyways.
fucking anyway. Yeah.
Definitely, guys, check it out. Like I said, go to your local comic book store. Zawa and the Belly of the Beast. 100% worth it. Hope that more comes from it on. I think it's gonna come to an end. It's close to an end. Kind of sad.
I don't mind if it came back
Yeah.
with another 1 through 5, like later on. You know what I mean?
I
don't-
just no, go ahead.
It's just tough when it's like, hey, we're on issue 600 now.
And it's an ongoing story that doesn't 600 has nothing to do with 3. Yeah, no, 100%. I
Right.
agree with you. No, I just finished one called The Cull, the Cull, and it was a 5-issue series. Was really good. At the end, it was like, hey, we might come back for more if you guys like this. Like, we might revisit some of the things that happened because it was, it ended, but also, hey, there could be more if you'd like.
Right. Yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Always.
Agreed. But check it out, guys. Go to your local comic book store. They need the help. They need the support. Both of mine got broken into and robbed recently. One got broken into at night and they stole a bunch of comics. And one, some guy just picked up some stuff and walked right out the front door. People suck, man. Fuck
Yeah.
people.
What do you want bad enough?
You know what? You want to take shit from Target, Walmart? I don't care. Fucking do it. Fuck those people. Fuck those corporations. Eat the rich. But how do you go into a local comic book store and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna get these guys good?
Maybe they made enemies of the neighborhood.
That's what it is. Well, like I said,
Because who robs a comic book store?
There's-
They're not pulling in big money. What are you doing?
not to mention, I'm gonna tell you now. Here's like a insight into the whole situation. Like, they know what you stole. They're going to tell every other comic book store because they all know each other. They're going to tell all the pawn shops. Who are you selling it to?
Dummies.
Like, there's only certain people that are going to spend that kind of money on a comic book, and most of the people now know not to do business with you. But anyway. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. Go check out this comic. I've been Michael.
This is Cleve, and we'll see you in the next issue.